be showing you how to set up a machine. From the last video, we set up all our material ready to tattoo, but I didn't really cover how to set up the machine or tune the machine. Pretty much our basic parts are actuating bar. Our frame is the main piece of metal. We have our coils. We have our needle. This is just a tightener to keep the tube in place. So after you've put the needles through the tube and you've got that on the actuating bar, what you need to set is the distance that the needles come out of the tube. Pretty much when we're tattooing, all we need is about 2 to 3 centimeters inside the skin. You're really not going much farther than that. If you're going like 1/4 of an inch, that's way too far. And I know a lot of tattoo artists that do that. And the rule back in the day was, if a person isn't bleeding, you're not getting ink in, and that's just way past beliefs. Really, 2 to 3 centimeters really does a great job. While you're tattooing, if you're making a person bleed, you know your needles are going too far or your machine is running too fast. So what we do to get that 2 to 3 centimeters is I already have it set up the proper depth that the needles are going to go into the skin. So all I know that I need to do is I make sure that the needles are just barely sticking out of the tube in the front tip. I don't know how well you can see that, but they are just barely sticking out of the front. And then after I tighten it, the tube stays in place, and when I push down, I can see the depth on these. So that's all I need. That's as far as I need to go. These two pieces adjust the top. It's the length that the actuating bar will travel before the top end hits to make the connection. The rolls, I guess the roll for the length of these, depending on how they're set up, is if it's a liner, you want a nickel gap between there, and that's about what that is. And if you're doing a shader, you want it at about a dime, because you don't want to go as far while shading than you are when you're lining. And it's a pretty good rule to follow. Sometimes you have to fudge it up and down a little bit, but that's pretty close to where it needs to be. And you know, other than that, if you're shading, people use different techniques. Rich Ives, he's a famous tattoo artist, does great color work. I personally know that he runs his machines really low and slow, to the point where they're I don't know, they almost sound like they're almost not running, and they're really quiet. And some other artists, great artists like Sam Gomez and other people like that, you know, they run their machines like a lot higher. And you know, it's okay. It's whatever feels comfortable. If you want to build the layers, then you know, go with the slower. If you want to get it in there, if you want to fill an area fast, you know, you go with a little faster. It's really personal preference. I'm probably a faster color artist. I like to have my machine gun set up a little bit faster, but you know, that's just preference and what you're comfortable with. But do remember, the longer that you spend on the skin tattooing, and the faster it is, the more damage you can do to the skin. But that doesn't go to say that the slower you go, the more damage you can do. It's just the more time you're working on a piece and going over the same area over and over, you do a lot of damage. So find a speed that works for you, that feels comfortable for you, and that's the speed you can go at. But as far as that goes, that's pretty much set up to go as a liner. I have shader needles here, but that would be how we'd set up a liner. And just make sure to bag it and cover it before you begin. Clip cord goes in the back, one on top and bottom post, and that's about it. Other than that, the machine's ready to go. Thank you for listening to this video or watching this video also, and I don't know what I'm going to cover next time. If you have any questions, feel free to post comments and I'll answer them or try to get back to you. And you know, again, thanks for sitting through this.